Matt Bryson joins us right now, Managing Director of Equity Research at Wedbush. And Matt, we were talking with Ed, and he was talking a little bit about the CFO's focus on cost cutting. They've been pretty aggressive with the cost cuts. They announced more job cuts as well here. How far is that going to get them, Matt?
I think it certainly gets them to better earnings in the intermediate term. Having said that, at the end of the day, what you really need to do is grow your business, and you can't cut to growth.
So what is that business going to look like? I mean, when we talk about, and I know we have to put the asterisk that, Lip Bhutan has been in this job for, all of about, 2 hours, and, we should give him time. But I am curious as to whether you think he's going to come to the table with something new and novel, or something that's going to be more an extension of what Gelsinger tried and failed to do.
I think it's got to be a little bit of both. So new and novel takes time, right? When Pat came in, he was talking about 3-year product cycles. I think that is the case. And so when you talk about them getting into the AI market, that's going to take time. Having said that, they have their new 18A process. Product's supposed to hit at the end of this year. And so I think in the intermediate term, what really is going to determine whether Intel's successful or not is what Panther Lake looks like at the end of this year. Is it finally a better product or a competitive product with AMD, or does AMD just continue to take share?
Is there a sense here, though, that when we talk about Intel's role in all this, and the idea that, you have a White House, basically a Washington environment right now that wants to see more homegrown technology, more homegrown manufacturing, and to a certain extent, Intel, certainly under the Biden administration with IRA, Intel was kind of seen as being one of the pillars of that. Where does that stand right now? Are they still that, or do they have the potential to be that?
I think they have the potential to be that. I think it really comes down to, again, does this 18A process work, right? Because Intel didn't go bad because of competition. Their struggles all came about because they couldn't get their technology right. And so at the end of the day, they need a competitive fab process, a competitive foundry process to be a good company again. And I think we find out more about that at the end of this year when you finally get that leading edge process node that they've been talking about for 3 years integrated into products.
With regards to sales going forward, and I thought it was interesting in the press release, they kind of gave a nod to tariffs and the economic uncertainty associated with that. And of course, this is a company that probably has more exposure from its end users more than anything else. Is there any sense here that things won't necessarily be as bad as maybe what the drop in the stock has reflected over the past few weeks and months?
Yeah, so I think they have a difficult Q2 and Q3. The tough thing from my perspective is you talked about pull-ins. Clearly, there were pull-ins in Q1. I think there very well may be pull-ins in Q2. I don't know how much their guidance looks at the potential benefit they get from pull-ins in Q2. Like, have they fully accounted for that? But having said that, behind the scenes, I think in desktop, in notebook, in servers, they're losing share to AMD. And so Q1, Q2, Q3, once you normalize for everything, was always going to be difficult. And so I think that's what's reflected in numbers. Having said that, they're trading close to book. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the stock can go down that much unless people think that there's real financial concerns moving forward. And so I personally think the next catalyst is, again, that 18A process, that Panther Lake part. And if it's good, I think Intel ends up in a better place. If it's bad, that plays into the financial concerns type of narrative.
Are you anticipating any sort of additional M&A, particularly divestitures, that is, out of Intel?
At this point, it's really hard to see what they divest. I mean, certainly Mobileye, which they're running as an independent business, they could get rid of that property fully. But you move beyond that, they've gotten rid of Altera. They've parsed out, or they've closed a lot of their networking business. I mean, at this point, you really have kind of the core Intel businesses, right? You've got compute in PCs, you've got compute in servers, and you've got what they're trying to do in AI. And I can't see them divesting their AI efforts, because that would seem to be the antithesis to what Lip-Bu's trying to accomplish.